dimension. Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're well. We are back. I'm back after my week's break. We're back with the AM series. We're at everyone's favourite track, Snetterton. It's not raining for once. I've taught the coaches and the admins absolutely nothing. So yeah, he's the boss man, Johnny Ashley, talking to you tonight, and I've got no Adam this evening because he's been sunning himself and having a whale of a time at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. So he's been there all day. But I am joined by the one and only Ben22. Ben Brown, how we doing?
Hello, mate. Yes, all good. Ready for everyone's favourite track, as you've already said.
So good.
Yeah, well, each to their own.
I think this is one of the places. I think this is the place I got my first ever AM class win. And if I remember rightly, I think Sean King was on commentary.
Oh, God. Was he shocked and appalled by your behaviour actually winning a race?
I'm pretty sure he was, actually.
Yeah. Well, Greg said in chat it's not wet, so it is shocking. We were saying that as well. Like, I think has it been every other race we've done? Pretty much has been at least had one of the races wet.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's Snetterton and it's in Norfolk, so you know they're giving sixes and praying for rain mostly over there. So
pretty much, yeah.
So yeah, we are back then for was it round 3? I want to say
2
of the. Was it round 2? Round 3? Round 2. One of them. Anyway, we are back with the AM series. They are at Snetterton. We've got some unfamiliar faces in qualifying. We've got some new faces. We've got some old faces. And we've got a certain 2 people who are going around on your screen right at the minute. They're absolute stalwarts in the AM series. Darren Eaton and Sam Page. Honing their craft. And Ben, that is a very nice livery. I wonder who did that.
I have no idea who did that one.
It does look very
I like
nice,
his liveries, yeah.
Yeah, very
nice.
Very clean, very simple. Although he has just gone wide. But we've got a fair few people in chat as well already. Mr. Trinket is here, Matt Holman, Codex 09, Greg, Tim. So it's good to see so many people already here. And looking forward to some action. Obviously, we have got then a 20-minute qualifying session, which these guys are in now, and they're going to get their best laps in they possibly can, followed by the usual 8-minute sprint race, just for everyone to practice pit stops and lap 1 and make sure there's not too many incidents before we go into the second race of the evening, the main event, the 45-minute sprint race. And I tell you what, Ben, I don't know if you've caught much of the AMs over the last few weeks. I know it's been great that we're back on streaming the AMs. It's been some absolute great racing. There's been some absolute chaos, but been some really good racing as well.
Yeah, I think it's a really good advert for what we do as a community. I think everyone agrees that it's not just about the super sweaty or even the moderately experienced people. You know, it's about getting people to feel more comfortable racing around other cars. They might be able to do it in hot lap mode, but there's nothing like actually joining a series and not feeling the pressure of being up against some maybe more experienced people. So this kind of scenario really has been helping people kind of pick up their experience of things. And yeah, the racing's been fantastic, so I pretty much have it on every week, even if I'm racing AC at the time in the Clubman's. But yeah, the racing's been really good, so it's really good to have this back and streamed again. And yeah, like I think it's good for everyone taking part as well. They can go back, watch the races back as well, and learn some things as well as taking part in the race themselves.
Yeah, and I think it's you hit the nail on the head. It's a good focused area for them, not having to worry about the quicker drivers that they might find on a Sunday in the main ACC Championship, or even on a Tuesday in some of the Team Cup stuff and the more limited spec series stuff we do. And also they haven't got the quicker drivers, more experienced drivers are not having to worry about drivers being 6-7 seconds off their pace, and because we know sweats don't like having to pass under blue flags.
Yeah, we know this from experience, everyone.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. But it's good to see, they've got their little area, their set races that they can do, and there is a few changes coming to the AM series. Nothing major, but there's a couple of changes come in to make sure we're making it a good environment for amateurs to come and race, and it's always well attended. Even tonight, it being at Snetterton, there's still 20 drivers here on track with us, so it should be some good racing. A good split between that beginner and the AM class as well, with some, like we said earlier, some regular faces in there, and some guys that are new as well and don't necessarily have all the experience on ACC. So they're in the beginner class, but as you can see, the likes of Head and Siniak and Mason, all up in the top 8 in that beginner class. So yeah, really good, and the coaches do a fantastic job. I know Stevie's with Dan tonight, and I think No Comments about as well, who stepped up into a coaching role and to give these guys some guidance. And of course, as well, we've got live stewarding as well tonight, which has been a really successful, Ben. I think it was the trial that we've always wanted to do in oNiD with the live stewarding, and I think it's actually worked really well in this series, and they're learning as they go.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of the things obviously when you haven't got live stewarding, obviously there's penalties and things that can come on later, but there's nothing like making a mistake in a race causing you a penalty, and it directly affects that race for you, rather than just, I lost a couple of places after the race, give the time penalty, etc. So it is obviously, for those that don't know, it can be quite time intensive having live stewarding, which is why we don't have it all over the place. But we've been doing it in our endurances ever since we've started doing endurance races many moons ago. And it's always something that we've talked about wanting to introduce for certain championships and events and things like that. So it's really good that the guys behind the scenes who do all the work around the AM series, the coaches, are not only they're helping people running the server, but also they're putting their own time in to really give a really positive experience to people. Being able to assess incidents as they happen. And actually, do you know what? The AMs have been quite sensible. Like, the racing's been good. Yeah, there's the occasional mistake because, people are learning. But we've actually seen some better quality racing in here than in some other races that we've seen. Especially if you saw the amazing tweets the other day from, where was it? Bathurst, SRO, or whatever it was.
So the Spa one was pretty impressive.
Oh, the Spa one as well, yeah. Oh dear.
So yeah, no, it is good, and obviously they getting penalties on the fly and the live stewarding. It also brings into you might go into a race with a strategy. You might go into a race with I'm going to pit in this time frame, and of course, then depending on where you are on the track, if you do have an incident and you do get that time penalty, you have to change your strategy on the fly, don't you, to incorporate that penalty into your pit stop and where it's going to put you on track and what your battle is going to be when you come out of the pits. So not only are they learning to drive in ACC and try new cars and get into grips with the car they've chosen. It's about actually, right, now I've got to think about my strategy as well as driving. And Ben, me and you have been, doing enduros for the best part of 2 and a bit years, and you have to think on the fly, and it's really difficult to do and keep consistent, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also, you're able to plan a little bit because you've got the penalty, and then there's also the side of it of calming yourself down and not being too pissed off that you've received the penalty, Johnny, and then and not driving maybe too aggressively after you've received it, for instance, or anything like that. I'm not referring to any specific incident that's happened recently at all.
I have no idea what you're on about. I don't get penalties for one.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh dear.
So anyway, moving on. So then Muller is at top of the time charts at the minute with a 1:47.347. Closely followed, half a second back is Morgan then in the McLaren with a 1:47.897. And then you've got Wacker, who we just had on screen, then he's in third with a 1:48.142. So not bad times really. That's about where I would expect to be. going around Snetterton. I know some of the sweats would be dipping down, into 45s, I suppose, on Sundays, but good pace shown by some of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be struggling in here because I'm not great. I always struggle at the Snet. And, yeah, I don't think either of us would be on pole at the minute. So,
I certainly wouldn't. I certainly wouldn't. The big Boatley doesn't really like Snetterton, although it is a very good track, and it's a very technical track as well. It's all intertwining on itself, and then you've got probably what I would consider the two most technically difficult corners on any racetrack. Obviously, the left-right chicane that goes under the bridge in the middle of the lap, very, very tricky, because you're kind of steering left and having to brake at the same time while trying to get your car in a position for a very quick right-hander. And then the last corner, Ben, I've always struggled with that last corner. It's, again, you're turning, braking, trying to get it to as far right as you can while the car wants to go left to be able to make the left corner. It's very difficult, isn't it?
yeah, I think there's a couple of reasons why people don't really like this track, at least in GT3s. I think the first one's a fairly standard British track thing, that it's not particularly big in terms of width, so it's not very forgiving. And I think the second is actually something that helps teach the AMs a little bit of something, which is you don't always want to be using 100% brake, and you want to be kind of cadence braking and finding a good middle ground on your braking so that you can turn and brake at the same time for this sort of corner that Darren's going through, for instance. Because if you just try and turn and plant the brake, unless you've got a godly setup, then the car's going to potentially lock up or run wide, or and all of this turning while braking is definitely teaching people a different skill, effectively, that they'll might be able to use on other tracks. This track's got probably 2-3 major areas where you want to be doing that. So
yeah, it is very good. I'm just going to dip into chat. We've got Aidan Howard says, the two boss men are on. Evening, chaps. Evening, Aidan. Hope you're well. And Matt Holman says, Das Boot, is she coming out again soon, Johnny? Yes, I will be back. The Bravo Charlies are returning on Sundays.
Oh,
after I sent Matt a setup, and he was like, oh my God, it makes the Bentley feel so much better. So, yes, the Bentley boys are back on Sundays. We'll be back on this Sunday as well, so join us as Trinket takes us to round one of the multi-class World Cup, which I'm really looking forward to. Ben, I know you're not in this one. You're having a break from Sundays, but
a very extended break from Sundays. I can't remember the last time I did one.
Yeah, it's true. But the last time we did multi-class on a Sunday was the Mess Series. I thoroughly enjoyed that season, and I'm hoping again it's going to be exactly the same. We've got 60 sign-ups on some of the bigger tracks in ACC, and it should be absolutely cracking. I'm looking forward to it. We're starting at Watkins Glen this week. All big off from Sam, and that first corner as well will bite you, won't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I'm just marvelling at Sam because don't you usually race with him on a Friday?
I do, yes.
Yeah, so Muggins here has decided that I don't do racing anymore much apart from endurance races, but I'm going to go and race tomorrow night with Sam. So for 2.4 hours of Barcelona.
While Johnny's on the piss.
Yeah, Johnny's on the piss. So. But yeah, talking of mess, it's really good to see so many people that have signed up. Well, it's not mess. It's multi-class World Series. Yeah. Sorry. But yeah, Mess was one of the first big championships that we did many moons ago, and we've kind of refined that formula over the past couple of years into different multi-class events like the 12 hours that we did of Spa the other week, and we've really got it working quite nicely with different classes of car, and it provides, I'm hoping the stream team on the Sundays are going to have fun with it, because it provides action all the way through, and even the leaders, having to lap slower cars, etc., and GT4s, it really does open it up, because I think before we had like the leaders in GT4 fighting while the leaders in, I think it was a Porsche Cup at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They were coming through. That's always one I remember at Misano, where you had kind of 3 Porsche Cups side by side. Whoa! There's a car off in the background. Who was that? I don't know who that was.
That was amazing. I think it was James Russell, I think. It was absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, there it is.
We've got to get a replay. That was incredible.
Oh, can I? This might break everything if I hit this button, though. Because you know what, my computer... Where's the replay button on this?
I think everyone needs to see that, and that needs to then become a new short on YouTube. That was absolutely ridiculous. Well, he's done well to house a car in one piece. Fair play to him.
Oh!
Just caught the end of it. Boo! Oh, it's a shame. But no, it was good. But yeah, like you're saying about the multi-class World Cup, going back to that, is it's going to be very interesting. Obviously, we've got a Pro and Am split in the GT3s. It's determined by their SGP rank. We've got a GT4 class, which has got some quick boys in there, which is going to be interesting. I think it's 22 GT4s, and then the rest are all GT3s. So it's going to be really interesting. There is going to be some fantastic racing, some bigger tracks, some tracks that people might not particularly like. They like to Paul Ricard and Cota as well. Luckily, I'm on holiday for Cota, so I'll still only
what a shame.
ever. And some of these guys are coming up. Some of the guys that come up from the June series in the Am series as well have taken a punt and going for the multi-class stuff as well. So let's see what they can transfer over from what they've learned from.
Yeah,
from
talking of multi-class stuff and people from both Thursdays and Sundays kind of getting involved, and the Mondays with the Racing Stronger stuff. We've got what? How many hours of Valencia is it? 6?
6.
6 hours of Valencia, and we're doing it again. We're doing multi-class again, and we've nearly filled up that as well. I think there's only a handful of GT4 spots open, which is awesome.
It's ridiculous at the minute. Everything we seem to put out is getting really good response, which is all up to the guys that decide they want to race here. Ben, we always say how ridiculously far we've come, and it wasn't ever meant to get this big.
No, what happened? I don't know. Yeah.
But like today I put out the new Tuesday series that's coming up after the Team World Cup with the oNiD Touring Wagon Masters. Pretty much full already. That's a limited spec season as well, so there's only like 5 types of car in that, and nearly already full. Valencia, I think we've got like 4, maybe 3 or 4 spots left at Valencia in a multi-class endurance race. Sunday's filled up ridiculously quickly. There's another big Sunday series coming to round out the year, which is going to be awesome. I think we'll fill 2 splits easily of that. Then AC has just blown up in the last few months with the Rhinehouse boys coming across, and we've got the Clubman Cup, and we've had the Super Tourers, and everything just seems to fill, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you to everyone, and it's going to be a good next 18 months, I think, for oNiD. We've got lots of stuff planned and lots of changes coming as well in sim racing world, right, Ben?
Yeah, exactly. There's a ton of stuff coming. The main thing I want to say is we will continue to be doing endurance events, but please stop asking us for another 24 hours anytime soon.
Yes, I'm just going to put it out there.
We're still recovering.
Yeah, once a year, that's all that happens.
If it goes to twice a year, then we've managed to rig in someone else to do one of them for us. You know?
Yes. I can't do it again. I'm still recovering.
Oh,
that's
like a big lag spike, wasn't it?
Was a big lag spike. So these guys are finishing up their qualifying then. So Muller is going to take pole position. By 100th of a second from Son then in second. Morgan will be in third. And then Head is leading the beginners class up in fourth, in car number 77. So that's a cracking effort. Aidan Howard says, can we have another 24 hours? Yes, Aidan, you can run it.
Well, this is the thing. People keep on going, oh, Bathurst would be great. Bathurst would be great. Like, I'd love to race in the 24 hours of Bathurst. But no other bastard's going to want to do it.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
It'd be like doing 24 hours of Kota.
Exactly.
Just no one to do it.
Nobody's going to sign up for it. So, but we are thinking about what we're going to do next year in terms of 24. We've got a few ideas of other special events that are coming up over the coming months and things. So,
multi-class. Sorry, I just had a bit of a cough.
he's had a cough and gone multi-class, like 50 GT3s and 30 GT4s.
Hell yeah, 24 hours of Paul Ricard. Let's go.
Yeah. So we should talk about that. We don't actually know if we're going to do Indy or not yet. We haven't really decided. So anyway, it could be a sad day for all you Indy fans.
Could be a sad day for all you Indy fans, but we've had 2 good years at Indy.
Definitely.
We've had 2 very good years at Indy, so it is time. I think it's time for a change, and we'll go somewhere different. But we will not be going somewhere that everyone goes. So we'll go somewhere a bit niche and a bit somewhere different.
That's not.
So quickly run through the grid then. See how quickly Ben can keep up. We have Muller on pole. We have Son. Then in second, in third we have Dexter Morgan. In fourth we have Jason Head, who's the leader of the beginner class. Then Chris Wacker in fifth. Followed by David Mellor in 6th in the Ferrari. Petr Suniak in 7th. Darren Eaton, good position for him, up in 8th. And we have James Russell from the SimHound rookies in 9th. In 10th, we have Tony Fensom, another good qualifying from him. Leo Mason then in 11th, and then Matt Krause in 12th. Toby Leuven in 13th in the AMG, good to see. Robert Gettings in 14th. And then 15th, we have Sam Page, good effort from Sam, getting up into 15th. Josh Wicks in 16th, followed by Andreas Hansen in 17th. Sam Knight in 18th, followed by Conradi in 19th, Nidam in 20th, and then bringing up the rear is Hugo Rodriguez.
We got it done.
We did. Slick.
Got it done, slick.
Matt Holman says 24 hours of Suzuka.
I think I might have mentioned that.
Yeah, I think we did. Right, so we're about to go green in the 8-minute sprint race, and these guys will have to give them a chance to practice their starts, practice going around lap 1 all together as a pack, and practice their pit stops. 8 minutes then they will get rattling round. As you see, Muller makes a great start. Drive through for Head then in 4th. Son didn't start or has moved out of position, so he's in the pits. But Muller's absolutely flown away already. From Dexter Morgan then in 2nd, with Head with his drive through in 3rd. Wacker, good little battle here. Daz Eaton with Leo Mason having a great little battle as they go through the first hairpin and round to the infield for the first time. Leuven, good to see an AMG out there. It's a very underrated car. I was using it up until about yesterday in the multi-class series, but decided to go back with a Bentley. We've got a couple of cars off. Sam Knight's had a big issue there. Big damage to that McLaren. James Russell, really good battling, nearly 3 abreast there as they come around the backside of Snetterton, then side by side. Good battling, because this is only a practice race. Absolutely great side by side action, and that's what Snetterton brings. It's always we see Russell go off. He nearly did an exit stage right that he did in qualifying, and Mellor is through them. Daz Eaton behind him as well. As they come back, it looks a fairly clean first lap.
You could see I'd used the helicopter view, so you could see just how clean it was there. Everybody with different brake places because of different cars and things, but everyone got through in one piece. I think we had one off just after the hairpin. I think we have had a couple of others off in a little gaggle later on, but not too bad at all there.
No, great effort, and Muller has scampered away very, very quickly. Dexter Morgan trying to keep on his tail though. Only half a second back because we just see Head going off in the background. We've got Leo Mason off. Looks like he's been caught. He's been caught in an incident or just foot on the grass.
Yeah. Very easy to do at the start of the race because it takes a while for your tyres to get up to pressure. Not temperature necessarily, but definitely pressure. And I think Head's in straight away serving his drive-through. I think it was because he was too far out of position, kind of rearwards.
Before we got to
it looked like he was too far back, and I know that can sometimes do things. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But that's why we have the practice races.
Yeah, it's exactly. This is the point. These guys get to, try a start first time, and you see a car going. That Fensom, I think, going off. It is. manages to rejoin safely, but he's going to have James Russell then right at the inside, and Russell's going to get that done. Fenson's probably not going to defend that, knowing he didn't have the speed as he was coming off the grass. But yeah, these guys get to practice this race, get everything in order, get all the mistakes out early doors before we get to that main event. 45 minutes with a pit window and a pit stop to do. But I'll tell you what, Morgan's not letting Muller go, and that gap is right down as well. So we could be in to see a great.
I think he's just made a mistake. Yeah, I think. I think Muller might have made a mistake coming onto the back straight. Oh, it's super snug. And that's not going to be good either, because I think I think Morgan's gone into the end of the tyre barrier as well.
Oh yeah, a little bit of an incident. He's trying to get back on, and I think the BMW as well is anticipated him come back on and then hit the McLaren. But they're all through safely, and it doesn't look like Morgan's got too much damage.
No, I think he's kind of got away with it. So obviously.
That's
not the guy who hit you.
It's like touring cars.
Yeah, like touring cars, yeah. I think, obviously, this is why we have the live stewards, though. So they'll be able to, stewards will be able to go away, have a look, work out what's going on with it.
As we see, half the grid, or a good quarter of the grid, comes in for their mandatory pit stop, just to see if they can hit their marks. I just noticed Sam Page is up in 5th.
I know. Go on, Sam.
You're there, Sam. You'll get a nosebleed, son. They're doing an absolutely fantastic job. And this is the thing with Sam. He might not always be the quickest, but he just can keep it safe for most of the race. He has a great effort. This is the start.
You're getting. I've found the button. I'm sorry, I clicked it by accident.
Look at this. We get a slow-mo start.
It's gonna get confused in a minute and probably break everything. But you can see it from the start. There's just a bit of knocking in the middle. So that was a button that I found on the. Thanks, ACCTV. You're lovely.
I like that button.
That's a great button.
It's a great button. It's a very good button.
I mean, it caught both of us by surprise, that one.
Yeah. I like the fact that it shows your head on and then you see the green flags waving. So it's like, there's the start of the race, but that's very cool. We see Conradi going off in the background, and Rodriguez has been involved in an incident as well. 2 yellow flags out for these guys. Son further back has brought out a yellow as well. So Snetterton catching a few people out, but we've still got 2.5 minutes left in this test race, the warm-up session for these guys to go and get everything sorted. And if it's anything to go by, I think we're going to have some quite decent battling throughout the field.
It's definitely it's definitely going to be one just to the people to kind of keep their head together and just keep it consistent, because like you say, it's a track that's going to trick people and trip them up quite easily. It's not one that's normally in the calendar for a lot of places, a lot of championships, and it's not one that people wouldn't naturally go, I want to go and drive a GT3 around Snetterton, so hopefully they've all done their practice, and to be fair, in qualifying it looked like they had, so it should be some good racing as long as they can keep it on the track.
Yeah, should be some great racing. Sam Page up in 3rd now, yet to take his pit stop. Muller yet to take his, and Wacker's yet to take his as well. I think Daz Eaton and Rodriguez have also got to take their pit stops. Of course, they don't have to take their pit stops. We do encourage them to take their pit stops during this 8-minute session to practice hitting their marks and getting putting the right strategy on and things like that. They will get a penalty if they don't. That's an in-game penalty that's given out because they haven't. So we might get a little bit of a mixed-up order. And at the moment in time, if nobody else pits, it looks like it will be Siniak that wins the 8-minute race. So.
I'm just laughing at Hydra's comment. This race is also practice for race direction. Yep. Yep.
It's true.
Hey, we don't do this often anymore. I know we did it for like 24 hours, but yeah.
But even then we had 2 PTs and 2 camera angles.
That's true.
It was all fancy dancy, What's Matt said?
Oh yeah, there's no angry tree anymore.
The guy cheering, the tree that's the guy cheering. That's a shame. This famously got called by Willie Blackhammer When you used to, is it the 300, which is the shorter version? He said it looks like a giant penis.
Thanks, Willie.
Oh, big spin for Nidam then, and manages
Did well
to
not
get
to
out
get
of
collection.
the way. Yeah, does very well. Rejoin is going to be difficult there. Nidam has got a stop-go 30 as well, and the leaders have come in to take their pit stops then. So everyone apart from Head, Mason, and Eaton would have done their pit stops. So they're going to get penalties. It looks like Russell's not having a good time.
Yeah, I don't think James is enjoying that one.
That corner is very tricky. You have to lift off and brake easily into that corner, but you have to kind of brake early enough. So then Muller will win, Mella second, Wacker is in the pits. Are they going to cross the line? Yeah, so Wacker, then Fensom, Siniak, Sam Page finishes 6th, what a legend, with a late pit stop. So these guys got it all done, all sorted out. And they've had a good practice. So next up is the 45-minute main event. 45 minutes of absolute carnage around Snetterton. I cannot wait.
Well, that was definitely entertaining.
Yeah, it was only 8 minutes and it was entertaining.
So you've got 45-minute race, is it? With a pit stop.
Yep.
Was it 25-minute pit window, is it?
I think it's an open, or it might be 25-minute pit window. It's a good shout, actually. Let's go and have a look. I'm just having a look. I've just got a message from Aidan Howard. I'm down to do the 24 hours next year. It's going to be Donny, and it's going to be GT4 Lambo.
No. He's not organising. He can run the stream and race control. We get to choose it still. Please, Aidan, come on, behave yourself.
Although that's a ridiculously good endurance race right there. GT4, Lambo ST, and Porsche Cup.
Yeah.
Donny.
Yeah, I love Donny.
Oh, it'd be absolute carnage.
Yeah, all right. They need to sort out Brands Indy so we can have Brands Indy on here.
Oh, could you imagine?
Oh, that would be
GT4.
Yep.
Oh, it'd
Sounds
be so
fantastic.
Good. It would be so good. So let's see. They've got a 45-minute race then coming up, and I was looking at. So they've got to do mandatory refueling, and yes, 25-minute pit window to do it in. So yeah, interesting. They've got to do fuel and tyres, according to SGP. So they've got to get both done.
So they're going to have 30 seconds in the pits then for their stops. It'll be interesting to see when people decide to pit. Do they go for the early pit or do they just try to run it all the way to the end? Because you wouldn't think tyre wear would be that bad across 45 minutes. Unless they're busy spinning or something.
Yeah, and I think it kind of gives them a bit of leeway to, if they do have an accident, at least they can come in and change tyres within that pit window, and it's not going to hinder their race too much. So I think that's a good call from the admins and the coaches to do that.
24 hours of Alton. I mean, I've tried already, Sam. I tried to do 24 hours of GT4s around Alton, and I got shot down immediately. So
absolutely, you did.
24 hours of wet weather as well.
Oh, could you imagine? Flooded track.
There are some options that we've already been running through, so watch this space for that one, and watch this space for other things that might just be round the corner somewhere. We love a good tease, don't we?
We do.
tease.
I especially love it when I can't even think what you're on about.
I don't think we've chosen what exactly it is yet, but
oh, okay. I was like, am I missing something?
I don't think we've confirmed the track yet.
Yes, Tim. Yes, absolutely. 24 hours of Bristol.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Let's do that.
On AC in the Hyperions. Yes. Could you imagine?
I could actually. Yeah.
How many laps would that be?
I don't even know. What is it for a lap there? 20 seconds.
Yeah. So it's what, 3 laps a minute?
Was it even that?
So what's that?
It'd be the pit
180
stops
laps.
that'd be horrendous.
180 laps in an hour.
God. This is why I wanted to do Brandon's Indy, or
Brandon
not kill.
Would just be. But obviously, with AMS2 getting some incredible updates recently, and the tease of endurance racing coming to AMS2, we could legitimately do a 6-hour at Brands Indy.
Yeah, in Clio's.
We could do it in Clio's, but we could do it in like minis.
Ooh, I'm interested. Yeah, I've been trying. Every year to Grant, I'm like, at Simply Race, I'm like, can we do the 24 hours at Brands Indy this time and just do it in Clio's? Why not? I mean, actually, why? It's not. It's a non-championship race this season for the 24. I'm going to message him right now.
I think we should get involved with Simply Race and host an oNiD Simply Race 6-hour special.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And just do Clio's.
Yep, 6 hours of Clio's, baby.
Or Clio's and touring cars.
Ooh. I wouldn't want to be encountering that closing speed, to be honest. There's a good like 6-7 second difference between them at Brands Indy, you know.
Could you imagine AMS2 12 hours of Monza Junior?
To be fair, nothing can be different. As we did the Clubmans on Thursdays, and it was Caterhams and Radicals around Brands Indy. The closing speed on that was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But
while we've got a quick minute before these guys head off on their 45-minute main event, there is so many options. Obviously, with different games coming up in the next, year, there is going to be options to actually run endurance races potentially that no one's run before. We can, and we love weird and wacky. We love doing something. Brands Indy is probably one of our favourite tracks as a group. I would think we've done it so many times. In so many different series, but you could legitimately do Fiat 500s for 6 hours around Brands Indy.
Yes,
which would just be amazing.
Just be awesome.
Cadwell Park.
Honestly, guys, we'll be back to the action points in this race, but I think we're just going to be talking about random things like this for the next 45 minutes.
Yeah, as well, let's get people involved. What have we got? Escort 1600s at Brands Indy.
Park, yeah.
Clio's round Knockhill. Yes, Ash. Love that.
Yep, Stevie will get on all of that. Yeah, he has. I'm all about that.
6 hours of Clio's and Minis, though they're in RF2. 6 hours of Cadwell Park from Holman. In bread vans.
Oh, you need something a bit quicker than the bread van. Oh, no, I smashed you in the bread vans. Let's do that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Something about...
I think you nearly lapped me.
No, I know. It was just just something about slow cars I could do. Anyway, race time. Mueller.
It is race time. We are waiting for that green flag.
Let's hope for it nice and clean this time. Well, it was clean last time, but clean again. No drive-throughs for starting positions or anything. Let's go.
Just wait for that green flag. Then Muller leads us off from Son, who's on the grid this time. Morgan in third. Ed in fourth. Clean start. We're hoping for it. There's the green. We're our way. So away they go, and a good start from Morgan there. You see on the inside, he's going to have the inside of Son. Is he going to get it done? He's been squeezed a little bit, and Son's come through nice and easy there into second. Some good battles, side-by-side action. Going through that first corner side-by-side is not an easy thing to do. Dazzy and then James Russell going at it as they come through the hairpin. And they've all looked to have got through relatively cleanly.
There is no yellow on the radar, he says. Just waiting for it, but...
look at them cars then running down. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant. And Muller leads us away then in that 297 Sim Sport.
Oh, James.
296. Russell has absolutely destroyed a Siniak as well, who had a really strong race for a warm-up race. So, unfortunately, that is our first incident of the day, and I'm sure that'll be looked at straight away from the stewarding team. That gap, they've definitely not run away. We saw Muller get caught quite quickly by Morgan in the first race. As we've got another spinner, then Leo Mason in a bit of trouble. Then we'll drop to the back of the grid. Brings out another yellow flag, but all in all, not real carnage on that one. As they come down to the bridge for the first time. Oh, Fensom, I thought was going to have a look at the inside of that McLaren, then he doesn't. He thinks better of it. Gets round there fairly safely. The McLaren hits the curb and goes round. Very easy to do on that sausage curb, really difficult. So that is Gettings then, who is around, and he will be dropping back to the back of the grid, and Fensom is in some clear air for the next minute or so. Mr. Gregg says, 6 hours of lorries.
Oh, I'd love it. That'd be great.
Could you imagine?
At not kill.
You could actually do the lorries.
Oh no!
On AMS2.
If we're dreaming, can we do 24 hours of Sugo?
Yes.
That'd be great, right?
In the LMP3 cars from Project Cars 2.
It's on AMS2, isn't it?
No, Sugo's not. It's on Project Cars 2, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Damn.
LMP3's at Sugo. Oh, like heaven. Always see a car just going off there in the background. James Russell not having a good time around Snetty today. Struggling at the hairpin. Really struggling at the bridge corner. He's dropped down to 16th or 15th position. 18th position now for him, so he's dropping backwards quite quickly. But Jason Head, who is leading the way in the beginner class, having a battle with Daz Eaton. Dad's been pretty solid the last few weeks, and has certainly improved massively since he's first joined oNiD. He joined in the early Sunday Trophy series when that first changed, and has been steadily getting better and better throughout the year. So really good effort from him, up in 5th at the minute as they come into bridge corner. And yeah, fairly safely round there. Most people looking to take that corner fairly safely. It is pretty difficult, and Russell's off again. I see a yellow flag out for Russell, who has also now got a 5-second penalty given to him from the stewards. I'm assuming that's for the incident we saw earlier on in the race on lap 1. That's actually become 10 seconds. So yeah, things going from bad to worse for Russell as we see Head then in a battle with Daz right up his chuff. And Daz covers off the inside. Pulls back onto the racing line. And Porsche's got some good straight line speed as Head has a look into turn 1, but decides not to this time around. Compared to the Porsche last time around, it has got some fair pace as Head then looks at the inside. Daz, nope, not having none of that. Yeah, Ben, that Porsche got some great speed.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of been replaced by the Lambo. So the Lambo's become the slower in the straight line and better in the corners kind of car, and the Porsche has become, it's a bit of a missile down the straights. Yeah, very. It's weird, isn't it, when you're following a Porsche and suddenly it's disappearing away from you, rather than you're just reining it in down the straights anymore. So a little bit different, but yeah, it's an absolute weapon, I think.
Yeah, very, very different to its predecessor, the 991.2. But Head still looking right at the rear bumper of that Porsche. It's a little bit deep. That's going to cost him a little bit of time, and he has got Mellor, who's just received a 5-second penalty, right directly behind him. So these guys have got an open pit window. They can go and pit when they like. But this battle is closing up at the front. Muller, Son, Morgan, all within a second of each other.
And Morgan was fastest on the last lap. So by only a little bit, but yeah, really closing up. These three have definitely broken away from Daz in 4th, who's obviously got his mirrors full of a McLaren. Let's see if these guys keep together or if it starts to stretch out.
He's going to have his mirrors full of a Ferrari now, because I think Mellor has just got past Head as well. So Mellor now up to 5th and Daz up to 4th.
Oh yes, might have had just a little ups off somewhere. It doesn't take much round here, does it?
No, if he's overtaken him in bridge corner, fair play.
We could probably assume there was a bit of contact if there's an overtake at bridge corner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Given that the last time someone tried to overtake me at bridge corner, Dave smashed into the back of me. So.
Oh dear! I've seen someone jump the bridge in a Clio.
Really?
Yeah, in an OTL race, Mr. Fish managed to jump.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
Yeah, he did it at Knock Hill as well. That was impressive. You know, the one that goes over the finish line.
Wow, that's a good one to get over. Yeah. You didn't really need to say what happened. He just said, "Just say Mr. Fish." We probably know some carnage happened, isn't that right, Fish? Wherever you are.
Absolutely. So things are quieting down a little bit. That gap at the front has just been eked out to a second. But Morgan, see Mason, then hold your brakes, son. Wow!
Oh, just get a replay of what happened there.
And I'll tell you what, the Audi's done well to get absolutely minor damage. It looks like a bit of contact then between the Lambo and the Audi's just got a little bit of contact on the way through. But looks fairly safe, and Leo Maton down in 19th is going to have Russell all over the back of him now. So yeah, ahead then, sticking to the back of Mella as they come into the last corner. Really easy to misjudge your brakes on that corner, run wide, run into the back of someone, so they're doing a fantastic job. I see yellow flags out for Russell, Nydam and Gettings. 3 yellow flags out for these guys. As you see, that looks like yeah, Nydam in the background, Russell in the background as well, both of them off. So not having great races this evening. See Gettings, and this is a replay of Gettings. What happens?
He's done me dirty here.
Has it done you dirty?
Yeah, it's done me dirty.
Yeah, it's done you a lap dirty.
Yeah, it's done me very dirty on that one, I'm afraid. But getting straight in, so obviously with the damage, the pit window's open already because it's open for the race, so these guys will just come in, get that fixed up and then carry on, hopefully be able to put some laps in and maybe a bit of open air, bit of clear air. Muller, by the way, has pulled out a 2-second lead out in the front now.
Yeah, he's had some good laps. Son still got the fastest lap of the race with a 47.3. But yeah, it was almost a second slower on that last lap than Muller. As you see, there's a yellow flag out for Rodriguez, but yeah, that looks like it's going to clear. Yeah, it has cleared. So only a few penalties there. Mason's got a 5-second penalty. Mellor's got a 5-second penalty. Russell's got a 10-second penalty. These guys can take them in their pit stops. So that's something to consider. But good little battle here then for Morgan and Son. So that new Ferrari we know is an absolute rocket ship. But the new McLaren, have you driven it yet? The new McLaren,
I have
Ben?
tried it. Yeah, it's really good fun. It can be a bit leery, but it can do something called take curbs now, which for any of you guys out there who used to use the old 720 like I did, if you looked at a curb, you usually died. So you can actually clip the corners now in it, and it's not too bad at all. So,
and Andy Hearn described it as, if Johnny can drive it, anyone can.
Well, there you go. I can't say fairer than that, really.
We see Nydam then not having the best of times backwards once again in that Audi. Unfortunate for him, now it's been lapped now by a few cars, but he's still going, which is the main thing. We do encourage all our drivers to finish the race, and they'll learn from the experience as well. As we see Wacker then and Fensom going at it as they come through the infield at Snetterton. I'm really disappointed this is not wet, by the way.
Well, they do some wet races in the M Series, don't they? So
they do, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it feels weird. There not being a little bit of. It's sunny. I know anyone in the UK will be like, yeah, it's been sunny loads, but yeah, I mean, it was raining today. Should be raining, right?
Absolutely, it should be raining at Snetterton. It's like the law. It's like the law. Matt Holman says he's still not driving the Macca. Why? It's your nickname, Matt.
Yep. Come on, Macca. Oh, that's just run a little bit wide.
Yeah, and he's going to go door to door with Mella then, and Mella does squeeze through, and he's got Head. He's going to have a look as well. This little battle here, Head gets past as well, so Daz, that little bit of an issue has cost him 2 places. He goes from 4th down to 6th. But yeah, it's unfortunate for Daz. Strong showing so far today. Can you believe we're only 11 minutes in?
Only 34 minutes to go, folks. Plenty of time for more action. Oh my god. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it does. Good to see so many people in chat. I've just noticed Alex Parkins here. Parkins says 24 hours is older in multi-class. Yes, definitely.
Let's have that, Sam.
So yeah, it's good to see so many people here. So Cynic's just gone into the pits. He's one of only 2 other cars that have taken their pit stop, so he's going to go early. I think he picked up a little bit of damage early in the race and decided to go and get that fixed. Daz then dropping off the back now of Mella and Head. See how if he can keep on the the tail of these, and a penalty for Rodriguez, 5-second penalty. Nidam's got a stop go 30 as well. So, unfortunately for him, I don't know whether that's a corner cut or it might have been in the pits. Russell then working his way back up and has moved up to 16th as he gets past Rodriguez with relative ease round the hairpin. That's a good effort from him, and he's still got a 10-second penalty to take and a pit stop to do, but he'll be trying to work his way forward as best he can.
Siniak with the SG30 then for speeding in the pit lane.
Oh, it's so easy to do at Snetterton as well.
And you've got that horrible little like tyre chicane thing on the entry. It's very easy to speed into it, and it's very easy to block the pit lane as well, as we found before. So if someone makes a mistake in it. Yes. Thanks, Mr. Larson.
Yeah, I remember Mr. Larson hitting the pit wall pretty hard.
Yeah, and he was sideways across it as everyone else wanted to pit, because it was going from wet to dry or dry to wet, wasn't it? And everybody wanted to pit at the same time, and he was blocking it.
Yeah, we were absolutely stuck with nowhere to go. Daz Eaton then into the pits decided that getting past was enough for him, and he's going to go and try and make that undercut work on the guys in front of him. So fingers crossed that works for him. He's had a solid race so far. Muller then leads by 1.7 seconds. Morgan's dropped back from Son, so he's 1.7 seconds back from him. And then there's a gap to Mellor of 9.7 seconds. So the front three, not a million miles away from each other, but they are just reducing a little bit of a gap as they look to take control of this race. And yeah, Muller's gone a little bit quicker as well. His best lap of 47.0, so he's really put the hammer down and leading the way. You see Wicks then in a battle with Hansen behind him, and Hansen goes a little bit deep, nearly caught the back. I think that's Toby Leuven actually. He nearly went into the back of, so does well to avoid that in a battle then for that 10th position, trying to get up to 9th. And these two second and third in the beginner class.
Yeah, it's interesting to say as well, there's only 3 seconds covering the top 3, and obviously it's a tricky little pit lane to get stopped into, and you've got pit stops, so anybody can lose a little bit amount of time. You might see them jump places. Also, if they get held up in traffic after they've pitted, all these kind of things really does throw a different dimension for them to think about. So it's by no means done yet, even though Miller looks like he's got the best pace out there. The other two are staying nice and fairly close to him. So
yeah, saying that Sono actually brought 6/10 back on that last lap, and he's now only 0.9 behind Muller. So that gap is coming down. While we're in a bit of a lull right this second, Ben, should we talk about something that got announced earlier today? Because I've noticed we've got a few AC fans in the chat. I think it would be good to mention.
Is it me?
That you are
AC fans. Hello.
Yeah, so there is a few. Ash is there, and Matt Holman's there, Sam's there, Tim Bob's there. There's a few there that we've announced today that we're bringing a set of Corsa to our rank building events. So for those who don't know, we do run rank building events for these guys that want to build their rank up and get into the higher classes. So we've introduced AC for a couple of events until the end of July. We're starting off with the KTM. Oh, that's unfortunate. That curb absolutely bit him there, and was that booze behind him? Was that
I'm not sure, because the overlay kind of disappears when I click that button.
But yeah, so AC is coming to the rank builder. We've got our first event next Tuesday with the KTM Expo at Silverstone, and then the second event of July will be the JCW Mini Challenge at Bikeadike. So yeah, if you want to get signed up, they are live on SGP. Head to the series tab and click on rank builder, and you'll see the events there available to sign up. We've already got some full ACT events coming up, one this Saturday, and also 2 more before the month's out, with a special event as well on the last Saturday of the month to get involved with. So these are unmanned events. They're just for you guys to go and build your rank, because we are introducing rank more and more into our events. As we see Wacker off now. Where has he gone off? Is that the last corner? He was doing very well as well, and it is the last corner. It looks like he's Don't know whether he's hit the grass and gone straight on, but he's going to come straight in the pits, I'm sure of it. As we see, then he goes into the last corner. Really tricky corner to get right, and if you do get any feet on the grass, you are... Yeah, look, oh, he just lost the rear, didn't he? Might be alright because he's hit the side of the car, but he's going to have a fair bit of damage. And Ben, say hello to your wife.
Hello, wifey. Yeah, she's downstairs chilling.
Ash Hill says, how do you...
Yes, I was just about to go. Do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, so how do you pick? So your rank on SGP will determine which class you can pick. If you try to sign up for a pro car and you're not eligible, which the cutoff is 6,500 ranking points, you won't be able to select that car, so you'll have to go and select an AM car. So the cars are the same, there's just 2 classes, and it will say a little tick if you are eligible for a certain class, and a cross or an exclamation mark in a red circle that says no, you are not eligible. So just go and select the class that is appropriate to you, and then join in the fun. And yeah, we've done it for a purpose of building rank up, because like I was saying before we saw Wacker go into the wall there, we're going to use the ranking system more and more to determine classes, to determine who can enter events, and all this kind of stuff. So we're going to bring that in, as we've noticed that the SGP ranking system is evolving and plateauing out, so people are just about getting their rank of where they should be. Obviously there's going to be a few anomalies if people haven't used SGP before, so you might get someone in the AM class that definitely shouldn't be there. But a very interesting thing to say, the moment you sign up for any league that's involved with, has a ranking rule in place, it will lock your rank for that series. You will still gain rank or lose rank throughout that series, but it locks it at that point for that series. So if you're 6,500 and or just below and you're in AM class, you may go above the threshold during that season, but you will remain in AM class. It doesn't move. So yeah, interesting to see how that works out over the next few months. It's certainly going to be interesting. And Ben, we've spoke about it a lot, haven't we, in the last few months about using the rank system?
Yeah, the SGP's been kind of evolving their ranking. Well, they introduced it and then they've been kind of refining it going forwards, and currently the rankings cause a lot of, I wouldn't say headaches, but definitely a lot of work for the admins and things, and it can sometimes, you can sometimes have to move people around in their classes and things. With using the rank building, the actual SGP rank, you're not only supporting those who quite often race with us and race on SGP, but you're also hopefully kind of refining those classes down to be as close as possible. So that's kind of the aim of it, and we're hopeful that we'll be, if we can get it right with a couple of the seasons that are coming up, then we'll be able to introduce it across the board a little bit, because ranking doesn't just come from ACC on SGP. Anything like AC, Raceroom, anything else that gets added on there that is a ranked event will also feed into your ranking as well, because my ranking, for instance, was taking a proper tanking until I started doing AC. So because I like the slower cars, and so that's it'll see that, and people can get their rating whatever they're racing in, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ash, you are spot on with what you said. So in this series, because they are individual events and not a championship, if you do that first event and your ranking then goes above 6,500, if you want to partake in the second event, when you sign up for that one, because you're over 6,500, you won't be able to pick the AM class. You have to pick the pro class. It's all about making the system work, for one, for us admins, and two, giving people a chance to kind of work their way up the ranking system without us having to be involved and putting them in the right splits. Like I said, there's going to be a few anomalies here and there, but it should work out really well, and I'm looking forward to it. We've introduced it into the new Tuesday series. We're going to introduce it into the AM series as well. Spoiler alert. We're going to introduce it into AC eventually, and potentially bring it into the Sunday, the championship as well. We are using it just as a trial on Sunday at the minute, just to split the GT3 class up in a multi-class World Cup. but it's something we're going to be looking definitely in 2024 to bring in on a permanent basis, and maybe even bring it into Enduros, Ben.
Yes,
think about
excited.
as well.
Yes, because our Enduros before haven't had split classes in, because of the way that it was, you can't really do evals and things like that before endurance events. So it opens up some doors for us. If there's, let's say, a single class of endurance event, then we might be able to do some split classes in that as well.
Yeah, which will be really, really good to see. And even if we do it with two-car multi-class stuff and we get lots of people, we can split it down into Pro-Am, which will be fantastic. Means that there's more chance for people to win classes and feel like they're succeeding and not just surviving an endurance race, but actually, feeling like they've actually achieved something as well, which is what we're all about at oNiD as well. And Matt said Mondays too. Yes, you are very correct. I'm sorry I missed out. The Racing Stronger lads, they are using the ranking as well. So yeah, across the board eventually it's going to come, which will be really good. Back to the race. There's lots of people already jumped in the pits. I noticed Son from seconds jumped in the pits.
Yeah, and Morgan did as well. And it looks like the gap didn't really change, so there's still a 1.5 seconds between them. Yeah,
absolutely spot on. So there's still a few cars left to go in. So Hansen, Kraus, Fensom, Meller and Muller all left to go in. So it'll be interesting to see where Muller comes out compared to the other guys, whether this undercut has worked for the likes of Son and Morgan. But as well,
Dazzy
eating up
straight away. Yeah, he is straight away. Even though he's got empty track in front of him, he's probably wary that the guys, the two behind, might be in clear air with a new set of tyres on. So he wants to get this out of the way early. So we'll pick up Son and Morgan here, and then see where Muller slots in when he comes out the pit lane.
Yeah, going to be interesting. Meller's in as well. He's got a 5-second penalty to take. Gettings and Nydam have also received penalties as well after their pit stops, so they're going to be added to the end of the race. As we see, then Son does go off as well, and that's going to bring Morgan right up on his tail. Not what he wanted, especially as Muller is in the pits. As we see,
that curve.
Morgan has a little bit of an issue as well. Well saved. And Powerpuff Racing, what a team name. Absolute legend. So yeah, you see Muller then is going to come out of the pits, hits that pit line, full throttle, and he's going to come out relatively safely in the lead with a nice gap back. So that undercut did not work.
That was a really good pit stop from him there, because I think Son and Morgan got caught up with maybe a little bit of traffic and maybe just having a fight, and obviously Son with the mistake, and that's it's given Miller what's that, 4-second lead now?
4-second lead, yeah. And Muller's going to have his hands full with Hansen in front of him. So Hansen and Kraus are yet to pit, but Hansen is the car directly in front of him at the minute. So he doesn't want to get caught up in any battles with Hansen. Hansen also won't want to lose time either. So I would think that if you see Muller get within half a second, you might see. Wacker's had an incident. Last corner again, and that is big damage.
I think that we need to do that. Oh yeah.
Ooh.
So I pinged that back for the replay, but it's already happened at that point, unfortunately. Yeah, so I think it's exactly the same thing there, where you're turning and braking at the same time, and if you just get it a little bit too late, you're putting more pressure through the brake, and it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. And it's very easy to find that wall on the right hand side.
It's happened to Sam as well.
Let's do a slightly longer replay of this one, and let's just take you through what can happen. So we're going to go. No, wrong car.
Done you dirty.
It's done me dirty. There we go. So you can see, just coming through the right-hander, going to try and put your foot on the brake, and it's just going to snatch to the right-hand side when you put too much braking in. I think Sam's got away with that one, actually, to be fair. I don't think he's got too much damage, although he's decided that he wants to he wants to reverse into the ball a bit. So he hasn't got as much damage from that, but it will lose him some time, as Russell just nipped past while he was just rejoining there.
Yeah, I just see Muller's got past Hansen. Got done very quickly. I don't know if it did hinder Muller a little bit, because the gap down to Son is now 2.7 seconds. So we'll have to see how that develops.
I was just going to chat, and Ash has asked about the yellow box next to the drivers. I'm assuming you mean the little yellow box with a 1. So that's an indicator for the mandatory stop. So anyone with a green bar next to them, or a green box, Daz has decided to take the rallycross route round turn 1 and loses out on the spot. The green box means that they've completed their mandatory pit stop, which is tyres and fuel, and 1 just means that Hansen now is the last person left to take the mandatory pit stop.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. It goes green once they've completed that pit stop. So, yeah, good to see. Yeah, good to see people wanting to learn about ACC. Ash, if you want to give it a go, come and jump in the AM series, mate. It's the guys and the coaches will really help you especially if you're not used to playing it. These guys will really help you, and if you do want to give it a go, this is the place to do it. And you'll be on stream as well, so you'll get the beautiful dulcet tones of either me, Ben, Adam, Trinket, whoever's available on a Thursday, commentating on you as well. So that gap really hasn't increased from Muller. Muller's managed to scamper away from Hansen by about 3 seconds. Son is really right behind Hansen and probably needs to get past as quick as he can, but he's got Morgan coming right with him as well, as you can see in your shot now. Hansen's going as long as possible, and he's going to really hinder these two guys. And Ben, he's in a bit of a rock and a hard place. He kind of wants to defend his position because he wants, when he comes out of the pits, to be as high up as possible, because obviously he's still got a 30-second pit stop to take. But also he doesn't want to lose time having to battle these two quick guys behind.
So he's probably stayed out because he might have been stuck in some traffic or something like that, and he wants to enjoy the clear air. The problem is now he's got 2 of the fastest cars on the track right up behind. I wouldn't think he's going to be actively defending or anything like that. I think once they make a move, he'll just kind of get out of the way. It might have been worth just pitting. He's got to change fuel and tyres anyway, and he knew he was going to lose time here. But it is really tough because, yeah, as I say, might be just trying to overcut everyone, and then unfortunately it's just how the other 2 behind have come out the pit lane and now really close behind him, and he doesn't want to lose too much time to them. It might.
The thing is with that AMG though as well, the AMG out the corners is not slow. So even if he's not defending, he's probably getting a better drive out of the corners.
It does look like that as well, doesn't it? You can see like the Ferrari and the tow actually looked like it had lost ground down the straight. It's a really good pickup out the corner. Yeah, I haven't used the Merc since it's been updated. Maybe I should give it a go.
Yeah, the pickup out of the it's very good. Very good. We've got a car off. You can just see that. I don't know who that is. That looks like Gettings. Yeah, it is. So he's had an instant going into the last corner, and that last corner seems to be catching people out. But then Son, then you can see, look at the pickup. Look, the Ferrari's in the tow, and the AMG's like, well, I'm not having any of it. I'm just going to drive away. And the Ferrari's not slow.
I'm wondering, Dexter, yeah, Dexter is right behind as well. I thought the Merc might have had a go, but I think unfortunately for him, the Ferraris, although not quite as fast as the Mercedes, he was actually getting a tow off the Mercedes as well. So I hate the term DOS trend for Formula 1, but it's kind of like that right now.
It is, yeah, especially between these 3, because no one can really make a pass. See Josh Head then as I think it's Josh Head has dropped down to 9th. The yellow flag briefly come out for him there, as we see Hansen then go a little bit wide, but the pickup from the corner again. Son couldn't make the most of it, and he's having to think about how he's going to get past Hansen in front of him, but also how he's going to defend from Dexter Morgan. And
that's one way to try to do it.
Oh yeah, and it's desperation, isn't it? He's got 14 minutes. He knows he wants to try and catch Muller. He's probably got the pace to try and catch him. But he's had a dive on Hansen and lost out. But Morgan's
I think he's probably going to get him there as well. Although,
nope.
Wow, I'm amazed at how quick that Mercedes is. Oh, and
Morgan goes off. And I don't think it's Hansen defending. I just think it's that car that's incredibly quick.
He's not weaving about. He's not blocking apexes. His last lap was his fastest lap. So he's obviously enjoying the car right now, and he's not blocking. He's not like sitting on apexes or anything. He's just driving his race. I think he's probably going to peel in here just before he gets killed by someone. But no, he's obviously got the pace right now. He wasn't actively defending. Just the pickup of the Mercedes out the corners was so nice. He obviously had got that car really dialed in on the exit of corners.
Yeah, and that is one of the choices of car you can use in the upcoming oNiD Tour and Moto Masters Championship on a Tuesday. It's what I mean. So, in a wonderful Martin Truex livery as well, which I'm looking forward to getting back out.
Lovely.
So yeah, that is one of the choices. It's a very good car at the minute, especially for newcomers to the game. It's a very stable car, and like it was pre-update, where you looked at Blanchimont wrongly and went round in a circle.
You looked at many corners wrongly, and
yeah.
It's gonna.
It just wanted to kill you.
Yeah, it did have a habit of spitting you off from random places. I seem to remember the end of the straight at Paul Ricard caught me on the old Merc in that thing. So.
We won't mention Kyle Army.
I'm trying to remember what happened to Kyle Army now.
Formation lap, me and a Merc.
Oh yeah. Where's my meme? He's like, please no.
Yeah, please.
No.
So yeah, Morgan and still. That's Steve. That's not me. I miss Steve. Can't wait to catch up with him soon. For anyone who doesn't know, Steve, obviously no longer with SGP, but does run Virtual Rally Championship. He's come back for a final season before the new rally game comes out, and we're heavily involved with the Virtual Rally Championship. If you do like rallying and you have got WRC Generations on console or PC, head over there. I think the last championship starts this Friday. For a week, so get involved with that, and then we're heading over to the new EA rally game that's coming out fairly shortly. So great to be involved with Steve and keep him on board. And I had confirmation from him he's coming to the oNiD Christmas do.
Excellent! Can't wait for that part 2.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, he's in a better state than he was last year.
Yeah, falling asleep.
Yeah.
Cammy says, "Oh, I miss Steve. He's not dead. I know he's not dead. I just haven't seen him. I used to see him like at least once a month, and I haven't seen him in like 8 weeks. So I need to see him. It's been a while." Matt Holman says, "Chasing Johnny in the AMG at Zolder the other day. He was gone out of every corner." I was. It's true. The pickup was ridiculous. And if it wasn't for my pedals breaking, I think I might have even beat Matt Holman at Zolder last Sunday.
I'm not sure.
Oh, I think I would have done. You know what I'm like at Zolder? I love Zolder.
You sure Steve isn't at Slim Chickens? Yeah, he secretly lives upstairs, Greg. He lives above it now. He moved.
Yeah. I didn't try Slim Chickens at the Christmas party last year. But I went out with Steve in about February time, and he was like, "Where do you want to go?" Because I was in Milton Keynes. So where should we go for lunch? I was like, "I don't know, you pick." He picked Slim Chickens. Of course he did. So yeah, it's very good. Still got to work on that sponsorship.
Yep. Need to get cracking.
You
with
mean
that.
the Steve, the voice of God Bane, is no longer with oNiD? No, different.
No, Stevie's still locked up, and Stevie still has to
yeah.
do all the stuff for us. Other Steve.
Yeah, Stevie Bain is still here in his cage, don't worry. No, Steve Roel, who was the chief exec at SGP, is no longer with SGP, and we haven't seen him for a while. But he will be at the Christmas party, and hopefully I'm going to try and entice him back into the AM series and some other series as well. Now he'll have a bit more time on his hands.
Yeah, let's put him in the SGP car.
Mean. Ash Hill says, "What on earth is Slim Chickens?"
Oh,
the greatest chicken place on earth.
Amazing chicken, especially after a few pints. But even
Go on
without the
Google.
few pints.
Go on Google, Slim Chickens, go and find your closest one and give it a go. It's better than KFC.
We're not trying to get a sponsorship at all.
Honest. Let's go back to the race for a minute. Muller has got a demanding 9.5 second, nearly 10-second lead from Son now. So Son and Morgan really did get hampered by Hansen, who came out in 9th in the end after his pit stop, and he's currently 2nd in the beginner class championship at the minute. So Morgan then still right with Son though, so really good battle with only just over 8 minutes to go. Yes, there is one in MK. oNiD Racing has replied. Look at that. So yeah, we've got some battles going on. Gettings is in a battle down in 15th with Sam Page. Sam Page up in 14th, doing a grand job. doing a really good job. We've had a couple of people drop out, which is unfortunate to see. But then everyone seems to be a little bit more spaced out. Apart from Morgan and Son on your screen right now, they're going to battle. Muller's got the lead and looks comfortable for the next 8 minutes. And Gettings and Page is the only other battle we have on track at the minute.
It's all quietened down a little bit after the pit stops. I think we've been well, apart from the fight for second and third, going backwards and forwards. Everybody, he heard me typing that. Yeah, okay. Angrily, crunch, crunch, crunch.
Live changing chicken.
It's because there's a typo on the back of the livery. If you didn't know already.
I did, because he was in the 24 where you found out.
I hate him. Absolutely hate him. Ruined my life. Oh, that's going to be a fun move down the inside. Sam comes across. But it's great to see these two are fighting over 14th place. I mean, Gettings does have a 5-second penalty that'll be served at the end of the race, but I think Sam's probably thinking, well, if I can hold him behind me anyway, then he hasn't got a chance of beating me. So,
and I'll tell you one thing now is Sam did a fantastic job of managing a gap and held off Petr Jelinek in the Team Cup on Tuesday night. Did well and finished, and actually was the lead racing stronger car that night. Excellent. So they did finished fourth as well, so that was a really good effort.
All right, well, I'll put all the pressure on him tomorrow night then to...
As long as you get him set up with a nice steady TC setting and he feels confident in the car, he's pretty solid. He's our Sam. And not very good at pool though.
You're brave. Smash you about.
He does. Weak.
Yeah, weak. Yeah.
Morgan then still in third, and he's closing that gap ever so slightly. Are we going to see a late lunge from Morgan then for that second place? The Ferrari is a rocket ship in a straight line, and I don't think the McLaren's going to have much of an answer to him either. So it's going to be either Son's going to make a mistake, or Morgan's going to have a very late lunge and have a go. The gap to Muller has come down by about 1.5 seconds as well, so... Cami says she's been practicing for the 6 hours of Valencia. I think she's in a GT4 as well.
Yes.
Ben's
No.
Currently, the silence was Ben falling off his chair.
No, the silence was Ben looking at timings. Yes, so I did... Oh no, it's all got a bit close for comfort, but they're still through in one piece. Yeah, so I said there was 2 go for the gap teams. You know, get one in GT4 and you can race against me and Johnny. And the winners out of the 2 teams wins a prize. Don't know what yet.
Oh, yeah, but they've got Dan.
Yeah, so we've won.
Or they've won because we die.
Oh no, it's fine. I've got a ban button.
We've
got the admin password. Oh, Sam's just went a little bit wide. He's going to have the inside on this one, though. Let's see if Gettings can go around the outside. It'll be very nice to go around the outside. That was definitely around the outside. I'm not sure about the old track limits on that one, but oh, Sam wasn't happy, was it? Look,
that was caught him well.
Yeah. That was you're not overtaking me off the track.
I'm just gonna slowly lean my car out just to run you off enough, just to back you off a little bit. Well done, Sam. Good racing.
Yeah,
good
great racing for these two.
Cami says she can't wait to award herself a print of her own art.
Hey, I'm expecting Johnny to buy me one this year. Don't worry.
About that.
Crap.
Paid you enough this year.
It's libelous on stream, that is.
Yes, Holman, elbows were effing out. Yes, Sam doing his best. So just under 4 minutes to go. Morgan and Son are still only half a second apart. Gap to Muller is still 8.5 seconds. Muller is comfortably in the lead and he's probably going to bring this one home, I would think. Gettings and Page are still going at it as well. And then you've got for Mellor in 4th, Fenton 5th, Kraus 6th, Daz Eaton up in 7th. Head leading the way in the beginner class in 8th. Hansen in 9th. Leuven in 10th. Mason in 11th. Russell worked his way back up to 12th. Good effort. Wicks is off the track. Looks like a bit of an incident, but it's managed to hold on to 13th. It's got a fairly big gap back to then Sam, and it looks like Gettings. Did Gettings get past Sam?
Yeah, I'm going to have to replay it. We've been watching him for 5 laps and I've missed an overtake, so we're going to go in the back and have a little look.
Sam getting a little bit wide. I think it might have been. Oh no, he does well.
It's just a really good pickup from the McLaren. And he's going to go for the move. Oh, jeez. Oh, Sam, just a little bit. Just head in the mirrors, I think, a little bit there, and just missed his braking point ever so slightly, and Gettings sneaks through. Good move from Gettings. And Sam's dropped. Sam will now be concentrating on staying within 5 seconds.
Yes, he does need to stay within 5 seconds. And the good thing was Sam was in the right position there to defend. Just got the brake in a little bit wrong. He did enough to cover off the corner. So he'll learn from that. But still a good effort from Sam, 15th at the minute. Could be 14th if he can stay within 5 seconds, as you said, Ben. But this battle is still going on at front end. Morgan and Son. We've got Mason, who's in 13th. He's gone for another pit stop, so I don't know what.
I'm wondering if he was just fixing a bit of damage or what. I just picked it up there because I'm just checking where he's coming out the pit lane. But looks like he's got enough of a gap behind. Still 12 seconds ahead of Gettings. Morgan's and Son, though. I mean, have they really been further away from each other than a second? I don't think so. So fair play to both of them. Very briefly
there might have been, but not there. You know, they've both been pretty much on each other's pace, which is a absolutely cracking effort. And it's not over yet either. You know, they've still got this one and another lap to go. So I would like to think Morgan might have a last-minute lunge to try and have a go. Give us a bit of entertainment on stream, but these guys have been absolutely spot on all race, and you see 0.3 of a second, then the gap closed up really quite a lot there, and you see I thought Morgan was just going to clip the curb and lose it, but he's done very well. The last corner, it can be won or lost, so it'll be up to the driver. He gets out of it. You can see he broke early to try and get a better drive out of the corner.
You can really see how good the McLaren is though around that the last right-hander. What's it called? They're really because of the amount of downforce on the McLaren, it can take a lot more speed through there. And he really closed up, and then the Ferrari just seemed to nip away a little bit down the straight.
Yeah, that does have good pace on that Ferrari to be able to scamper away, and then you can see in the top 6 cars, 5 of them are Ferraris. Boppin coming by any chance? Sam Page has had an incident. The yellow flag out for Sam. Oh no, it's the last corner again.
Corner. Oh.
He would have been on for a 14th because he was maintaining that gap under 5 seconds to Gettings, but the last corner has killed him. So Muller then, your leader, is just managing his pace now. The gap has come down to about 6 seconds, but I think that's because he's just going to take it easy on this last lap. Doesn't need to push. Well managed race from Muller. Car 111 for 297 Sim Sport. Fantastic effort from him. You can see the 2 guys going in the background. You see Head and Eaton going at it. Head was looking to pass Daz Eaton, but hasn't managed to get it done. So Daz holds on to 7th with 1 lap to go. Muller then comes round the sweeping right-hander, penultimate corner, into the last corner. He's going to take the win. Comfortable in the end for him. Well managed race, and congratulations Tom Muller. Great race as he sees the checkered flag and brings it home for the win. Great effort, sir. 6 seconds the gap, as you see. Somnen's going to hold on from Dexter Morgan. What a race from these 2 guys at the end. So Son 2nd, Morgan in 3rd. Ella's going to be the next man across the line in 4th position. And a battle still going on here. Daz Eaton and Head really going at it. They've only got a couple of corners left to go. Can Daz hold on to a 7th, which will be a fantastic result for him? As you see, he just holds it going under bridge corner. The gap closed right up from Head. Daz has done well in the Porsche to get the drive out the corner. So 3 corners to go for Daz then. Mellor does come home in 4th. It's going to be Fenson and then Kraus that will come in 5th and 6th. And then it will be whoever wins the battle from Daz and Head then. Daz Eaton does a fantastic job then. And he is going to come across the line. 7th place for Darren Eaton. Good effort from him. And he does, in fact, yeah, you go 7th position, Head in 8th. Ed wins the beginner class. So great effort from him. And just a few cars left to finish. Hansen didn't really make the long pit stop work, and he's going to go wide in the last corner and have a spin as well. Oh no! Hopefully that's not going to cost him too much. Where's Leuven? Leuven's just coming around the last corner. He's going to lose that spot. He's going to lose 2 spots, I think. Or does he? Oh no, I think he's just lost 1. I think he's okay because Wacker was a lap down. So yeah, so it does mean that then Leuven finishes 9th. Hansen comes 10th. Unfortunate last spin for him. James Russell up to 11th. Had all them issues early on in the race. He had penalties. He had big offs. And has come back to finish 11th. He's your last car across the line. So fantastic race. Absolutely fantastic race. And well done, Tom Muller.
Well, plenty happened at the end. We weren't writing it off, but we were thinking it got a bit quiet, and then it all sort of got busy again at the end. But yeah, some great racing again, and just another excellent round of the AM series, really. Yeah,
looking forward to.
You'll have some proper commentators next week.
Well, you'll have Adam.
Yeah. Actually, do I want to be bigging up Adam? I don't know. Adam's a proper commentator.
He is a proper commentator, and he'll be leading the way. So the oNiD Dams will be back next week. We'll be on at 7:30. We're going to do a little bit of a chat and catch up on all things racing, all things oNiD. And next week we are at the wonderful Silverstone. And it's going to be a wet race as well. How lovely!
Oh, excellent!
So, wet race at Silverstone. Looking forward to that one. No mandatory tyre change either, so just refueling for these guys. So good stuff. They're going to have to manage the wets, manage the conditions. I'd be really interested to see. But Adam is back next week with myself for the oNiD Arms, and we'll have a good old catch up because we haven't spoken to each other for a couple of weeks. And all things oNiD, all things sim racing, lots of stuff going on. Just to round out then the what's going on at oNiD this week. So we've got the if anyone plays AMS2 and is willing to give us a hand, we've got a test on Saturday night on SGP. If you want to go and get signed up, we are doing the pickup trucks around Brasilia Alta. So if anyone wants to give that a go, the more the merrier. We need as many people in the server as possible. It could go horribly wrong and not work, or it could work fantastically. So fingers crossed. We just need people in there to do that. So if you want to go and help us out with that one, go get signed up. We've got the rank builder on Saturday as well. GT3's at Imola. That starts at 7:30. If you want to get involved in that one, get your rank up, get involved in that. And then Sunday we are back with a stream for round 1 of the Multi-Class World Cup. 60 cars will be rattling around Watkins Glen, GT3, GT4. It's going to be cracking. Johnny and Matt back in the boat leads. It's going to be awesome. Trinket will bring you that stream. Looking forward to that one. Monday we head across to Suzuka in the Racing Stronger GT World Sprint Tour. And then round 1 on Monday as well of the Mini Cooper Cup. Looking forward to seeing that one live on stream at Thruxton. Are you involved in that one, Ben?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll be in those minis. And also Clubman's next week as well starts. So
yeah, so then we go.
All the AC stuff.
Yeah, next week we've got a busy week next week. We've got Kyle Army in the last round of the Team World Cup. Johnny and Stevie going for GT4 Championship. That's the last round. And then we've got our first rank builder on Tuesday as well in the AC stuff. KTM's at Silverstone if you want to get involved in that. Back to here next Thursday for Silverstone in the wet. And like you said, Clubman Season 3 kicks off next week with the 1966 Monza Junior course. What cars are in that this season? Oh, the Praga and the MX-5. What a championship that's going to be. Looking forward to seeing all the highlights of that one. I'm assuming you'll be streaming that one, Benjamin, won't you?
I will be, yeah. And I've actually gone in the Mazdas.
Nice.
So I thought, why not? So I've gone in this. I feel like giving someone else a chance in the faster class because obviously I was in the Radicals before, and the Catums look so much fun. So I decided to leave the super quick boys to get in the Pragas, and I'm going to go and poodle around in the Mazda. So yeah, looking forward to that one. Streaming every week as usual, and usually sometimes joined by someone, sometimes Aiden or whoever's about really, and just have a natter. So good fun.
So yeah, plenty of stuff going on this week. If you do want to get involved in any of the races, head over to SGP, get yourself involved. More the merrier for all the races. Thank you to everyone in chat. We've had a busy chat tonight. Nice to see so many people in coming to chat to us. It's been really good. Ben, thank you for joining me, and thank you everyone in cameras.
No, it's been great fun. Thanks everyone in chat. Been awesome tonight. So cheers, Johnny.
Yeah,
the seasoned damn expert over here taking me through. So appreciate that.
No worries, and we'll see you again next week, guys. Thank you very much.
Cheers.